Good day, everyone. HSMAI is pleased to share the following video from the 2018 HSMAI Digital Marketing Strategy Conference in New York City. Before we begin, HSMAI would like to thank the 2018 video series supporters, STR and HNN. The following video from the conference is Why Be Average When You Can Be Savage with Your Marketing? With Catlyn Origitano, Ph.D., Senior Content Marketing Manager, Sojern. Catlyn's bio and a PDF of her slide deck are available in the Handouts tab.
Thank you, everyone. So in these next 7 minutes, I'm going to talk about how you can think beyond averages when it comes to your marketing strategies and turn them savage, as the kids like to say. So the first thing that I want to sort of start off with is this understanding of why averages are so important. And as marketers, I think we use averages to understand how well we're doing, right? So we'll talk about our average open rate or click-through rate or conversion rate, and it helps us to benchmark so we know how well we're doing. But then as people in the travel industry, we're also really focused on averages, right? What's the average business traveler like? What's my average millennial traveler, something like that? And we use these averages to think through our marketing strategies, as well as the ways in which we can target and reach different travelers. And averages can be really, really useful and important. Like I said, we use them to benchmark ourselves or to think through how we can reach people. But the problem with averages is that they keep changing, right? They keep growing. We've been talking about how, 10 years ago, digital marketing wasn't even a thing. So if you're talking about averages over time, it makes it difficult to compare. This is one of my personal favorite stats as somebody who reads and researches a lot in this space. In 2013, Expedia released this really great report where they said, the average was 38 websites. 3 years later, the average is 140 websites. So if you understand that the averages are always changing, it becomes difficult to think about how you can keep up. And if you're not sort of rethinking your own averages, the ones that you're benchmarking against, or the ones you're using to think through how to target people, you're not going to be as savage as possible. So in order to sort of answer some of this and to think through how you can move beyond averages, at Sojern we released a report, and I'm going to share some of the findings with you. If you guys were here last year, I presented a report, a hotel report that we did with Google, where we looked at average booking trends and search trends along different segments. But in this one, we really focus on particular travelers and sort of get down into the nitty-gritty of individual paths to purchase. And the way that we did this is we start with real travelers in real time, searching and booking across many different websites to understand how trip motivation, party size, spending habits, all of this can go into influencing how individuals search and book. And we really started there. We let the data be the guide, and we sort of, we'll go through some of the findings. So I'm just going to go through it at a very high level because there's a lot in them, but I want to talk you through a few of our paths. So all of this data is anonymized. We don't know any actual people. We just call them Eric, for instance, because it helps talk about him and sort of concretize him. So Eric is planning family travel to Florida. And he's doing it exclusively on his mobile phone. 3 of his 4 transactions, not exclusively, 3 of his 4 transactions are on the mobile phone. It takes him over 5 months to plan and book his family trip, and he has 451 travel touchpoints. So a travel touchpoint is just all of the collection of websites, hits, IP searches, right? Let's say you go to a booking.com and you do 12 searches, right? That might be categorized just one website, but it's important to see all those different searches. And if you look at just the hotel vertical, he's doing 113 searches in just hotel. Now, trying to think about how you can market to someone who's a heavy researcher on his mobile phone like Eric, you could set some really great strategies for the Erics of the world, right? You know that you need to have a good mobile presence. You need to be reaching him on many different channels because he is a heavy researcher. He's going to be bouncing around. So you could maybe set a strategy based off of Eric's searching and booking patterns. But then let's look at Alexandra. Alexandra, family traveler, going to Florida, exact same sort of trip motivation and party size and type. She's coming from Mexico. Takes her 1 month. This woman gets stuff done. 1 month, 139 touch points. She only looks for 16 hotels, and she knows what she wants. Leslie is a European boutique hotel shopper, so he comes from Scotland to New York. He only searches for boutique hotels because he knows what he likes and he likes that independent hotel experience. He has 116 touch points over 5+ months and 64 at our hotel. What makes Leslie really interesting is that if you look even further into Leslie's hotel touch points, 49% are done before he books and 51% are done after. After he books, he's looking at amenities, brunches, what's nearby. He books a bike rental through the hotel because he's going to do a biking tour. The hotel becomes, for someone like Leslie, a really important touchstone. And knowing that about your traveler in real time allows you to think and market to them differently. Michael, the last one I will introduce you to, is our bleisure traveler. Everybody loves the bleisure traveler. It's the new, not so new thing that everybody's doing. So we know that Michael goes from Dallas to Singapore on the regular for business and decides that he's going to extend and go to Kuala Lumpur and have a little vacation. He does 162 touch points over 4 months, but 127 are in hotel. Because he knows where he's going for his business trip, right? That's a thing that he does over and over again. But when it comes to that extra excursion, again, it's the hotel he turns to offer that experience. So he's got to find one that has everything that he wants. So looking at these paths, what we began to see and sort of put together was if you really get down into the nitty-gritty of the real complexity of the traveler's paths, once you try and scoop them all up and average them, what you get is a path that would actually not hit anybody. Right? If you take this average and go, well, this is what the average traveler is, nobody actually takes that path. So you end up missing everybody by not offering that real time, that responding with machine learning, that personalization we've heard so much about. And that's really where we need to go, is to know when people are in market and respond in that time. So how do you do this? Again, I don't want to say get rid of your averages. I would never say that as a marketer because I too love my averages to benchmark, my personas, my standards. But what you can do is think beyond them. And that's how you can get more savage with your marketing. So 3 takeaways to do that. One is maybe a philosophical one. So I have a Ph.D. in philosophy. I could not leave you with a little philosophical. We've been asking why questions, existential questions. We're in this, people. So one is, how are you using your averages? Are they actually helping you? Are they being your guide? Or are they just strangling creativity? When was the last time you checked them? Right? So I know sometimes as marketers we get so caught up in like executing. You don't go back and say, hey, it's been a year since we ran that campaign. What's changed? Is our traveler still our average traveler? Are you digging into your Google Analytics? Think through some of your averages and whether and how you're using them. And then I think this is going back, I went to a really great AI panel earlier. Dustin talked about it today, right? Bringing data and data science into the mix is the way that you can get that real-time personalization that you need. So you're not alone. You're not doing this by yourself because this would be a Herculean task if you were trying to see every traveler and their 155 touch points and responding. And there are tools and technology out there for you. And then finally is we have to be on every channel, right? Travelers are searching and researching in so many different ways on so many different channels that being there and engaged is a really important and really key way to go from average to savage. Thank you.
Hotel News Now reporters and editors have contributed to these presentations by providing key highlights. Thank you for watching. Today's program is copyright 2018 by the Hospitality Sales and Marketing Association International with all rights reserved. This concludes the program.